After the pandemic keeping students apart for 2 years, I really wanted to revive some of that club spirit. So after drafting different proposals and involving suggestions from different members, I was recently able to set up a group viewing of a medical documentary, where for the first time, members could really come together and passionately discuss healthcare as a whole. I'm also a part of my school's HOSA chapter as an executive trainer, in charge of preparing lessons to help students prepare to compete in health science on a national level. For a while, I have made it a point to be involved in as many fields as possible, from in grade 9 being a part of my school's band, dance team, and even hosting a school open mic, to last year, competing in CIBC's financial literacy competition.
I look at it from the perspective of her participation in HOSA, which is the Future Health Professionals Club. And this is a club that gives students an opportunity to learn about the medical field, learn about the different health professions, and give students the ability to participate in different competitions to hone their leadership skills as future healthcare leaders. Priya has done really well guiding her team, supporting her fellow club members as an instructor and also as a coach for these leadership conferences.
Carter came to us 2.5 years ago, a different kid, not able to self-regulate or really deal with social interaction of any kind. To the point now where today he's looked on as a leader by his peers, as someone who is kind of the social butterfly and is friends with everyone, and really took pride in helping us in our complex needs classroom create a safe, healthy, and inclusive learning environment.
My biggest accomplishment at school and the one I'm most proud of is probably me graduating through my program and achieved my goal of coming back to Fairwood. I persevered a lot. I've had a very hard time to get to where I am today.
So when I think about Carter right now, not the kid that we saw 2.5 years ago, but right now, I see him standing out because he set a goal for himself, was something he worked for over a year, knowing that this was his specific goal. And if things got tough, we would remind him. If things got really good, he would remind us that it is my goal to go back to Fairwood, to my home school.
So with that being said, I'm most proud of overcoming that academic slump and finally accepting that this is me and I may not learn the same as everybody else, but it doesn't mean I'm any less capable. So last year, I was in school full-time while working multiple part-time jobs every chance that I could. So I worked a lot academically and literally to support myself, pay my bills, save for my future education. And through all of this, I definitely owe a lot to my dad, who has, been my biggest fan. He's been here. I can't forget my lovely guidance team at MULOC. Everyone in the guidance department has helped me with my indecisiveness, but they never limit me, my mind, my thoughts, despite how many changes I have made.
Alicia's had to grow up faster than other students as she's needed to be more self-sufficient. When life doesn't go the way she hopes for, Alicia's able to adapt to those new situations and endure them, or she's able to stay the course.
I nominated Paul for the Celebrating Student Success Award because I saw his strength in leadership within our school and more specifically within our peer mentor group.
So in grade 10, I joined the Peer Mentors Club, which is probably my proudest accomplishment. I've really been passionate about peer mentorship since then. It's really driven me to become a better leader, and I feel that it's an important role to have in this school in terms of supporting student success and helping our grade 9s with integration into high school. This year, being the president of the club, it's kind of overseeing the club as a whole, ensuring that all of the general members and the executive team are on the same page and ensuring that all of our events and initiatives run smoothly.
His main focus was how do I engage our students and our grade 9 and our grade 10 students in order to allow them to find creative solutions to have an authentic high school experience.
Being a peer mentorship is obviously very important. helping grade 9s as a role model, as a friendly face in the hallway, as someone who they can come to for advice. I think mentorship is a really, really key part of what my high school experience has been and what I've achieved so far.
I'm currently a part of the yearbook club. I was a part of the eco club. I did lunch monitoring. I helped out in the library, and I took part in many of the school's awareness days, such as Orange Shirt Day and the school's Terry Fox Run. I also took part of the school's Outdoor Carnival Day, which was held for the juniors and primary grades. The intermediate volleyball team had to put their practices on hold, so a good friend and I thought of what can we do to keep the team motivated and together during these times. We decided to put together a practice online where we would do skill exercises, general exercises, and just to keep the team together. I've also been tutoring younger grades, helping those kids achieve their learning goals.
As a leader in and around Frechette, she leads on the sport court, in the classroom, and throughout the school. She does morning announcements, and she regularly is seen helping reset themes in and around the school in terms of display cases and prepping the school to make it a wonderful and beautiful place to come to work and to learn.
She took part in so many different things, in the sports being an important part of the volleyball team. She was there making the Remembrance Day assembly. She was helping with younger students, helping them read.
Most of my accomplishments have been community related to the fellow students at my school. And like Mr. Millett said, one of the ones that I'm most proud of is being able to join the student leadership team in grade 7 when it was primarily a grade 8 team. I feel like I was able to voice the opinions of younger students and students of different ethnicities, and I was able to sort of display the diversity in our school to other people.
So having been on the student leadership team for both grade 7 and grade 8, I think he's had a massive impact on the school with our monthly assemblies and recording videos and just making sure that a lot of awareness goes out into the school community about what's happening around the school, what are the sports teams up to, what are the successes of different programs at the school, like chess club and robotics. And he's almost a conduit between the students and the staff and the community, which is really nice. I remember one specifically where they were talking, interviewing students about Holocaust survivors and how the Holocaust had impacted students' families and their grandparents. And I know that assembly video that he was helpful in creating had a huge impact on our school community.
Artem draws on his past experiences to be able to bring forward the passion that he has to support people from underserved communities and to support immigrant populations and to make sure that they feel a connection to their school and to the local and global communities as well.
I would say definitely the most proud accomplishment I have in school would be establishing Change by Coffee. Change by Coffee is a nonprofit that I established by myself in 2019, and it works to target socioeconomic inequality in our communities and internationally. Coming from a very diverse team that runs this organization, we really aspire to help not only our community and our Indigenous brothers and sisters, but also the world as a whole. The reason why it's called Change by Coffee is that we want to have these coffee galas where we basically raise a bunch of money. We fundraise really well through our initiatives. I was in grade 10 in COVID, and I had to really work creatively with my fellow peers to be able to do these nonprofit. When the world was shutting down, we were trying to figure out how to raise money for others, and especially COVID was a time where people needed help. And through creativity and working with others and getting through those hurdles of special regulations and problems in our societies, we were able to help others. So I feel like resiliency is very important for me.
I think Artem purposely seeks out opportunities to support others who might feel marginalized, who feel disengaged, and finds ways to support those people, whether they're people that he's actually met before or whether they belong to communities that he knows he might not see the direct impact of, but knows that the importance of the effort is worth it.
So there's this ESL student in my class, and sometimes I go up to her, and because she's mostly lonely, and we don't speak the same language, so I'm trying my best to like talk to her and hang out with her, and I think that really makes her feel less lonely in class. So there was this Indigenous artist who came to our school. His name was Douglas, and he taught us how to create Indigenous artwork, and the style was woodland style art. And I also helped make the mural that was downstairs with him.
So she created a work for the human rights poster. She worked with a friend to create it, and it's about freedom of speech, freedom of press, and how important that is in the world, or to bring equity and understanding to issues that communities face. And also she worked with the Indigenous artists that came to do an Indigenous art with us in woodland style art. And she helped with many other students. She also part of helping him to paint the mural in the front foyer. She has done a Black History Month a hand art that was done beautifully, and also she did positive self-talk art that she done, and there are many artworks that she has done.
I've had the opportunity to know Dom since he was in JK, and to see the growth now as it been integrated into the grade 6 classroom. That integration was made incredibly smooth, simply because of the fact that he's somebody with absolute strong character that reflects everything that we as teachers are trying to instill in all our students.
I want people to see me as helpful, so I know I can help other people, which is kind of a way being a leader. I help my teachers a lot, and I'm understanding of the younger students in my class because I understand how they feel, because that's how I felt when I came here.
He is always willing to support when needed. He's willing to offer suggestions to his teachers when he sees that one of his younger friends might be upset, and thinking about what might have caused him to be upset. He really is a helper at heart, and I do believe that helpfulness has come up from a place of empathy.
I was motivated to learn coping strategies because I want to be able to do all the things that used to make me cry and upset in the past. I want to do all the fun things.
I've been able to watch him grow into a young man who can go into new situations, feel a little nervous, because that's okay, and still push through.
I don't know just yet how I'll be helpful in grade 7, but I'd like to be connected to the community class somehow.
We've talked a lot about the fact that Dominic is an inspiration to us as teachers as well, because we can see what is truly capable in students who decide that they will persevere and continue to grow.
Well, one of the accomplishments in school that I'm most proud of would have to be achieving honor roll 2 years in a row for grade 10 and 11. This is the most proud accomplishment of mine, because I didn't really get honor roll in grade 9 as I was short off by a few percent. So putting in that extra hard work throughout grade 9 summer, and looking over at my work, double checking my stuff, asking my teachers questions, or asking my peers for help, really helped me achieve that honor roll status for grade 10 and 11, and currently looking to achieve it for grade 12. I like to spread positivity throughout wherever I go, whether it be in school, outside of school, playing on a team sport. I just want to make sure everybody feels included. Nobody feels left out no matter what. I remember from last year with chemistry, I know a couple people, they were having some trouble, and I understood it, so I helped tutor them outside of my time, just because I want to see other people do well in a course that I know if I was having trouble with, I would want somebody to help me as well.
Having decided what he wanted to pursue in grade 11 required a shift in pathway for Justin. We set into motion a very detailed plan on how he could go about achieving his goals. We explored his interest in the medical profession, particularly radiology. And then over the last 2 years, his course load has been beyond heavy. So what makes Justin stand out from other students is that in the face of adversity, Justin digs deep and continues to persevere. He never wavers. He is determined, laser-focused, resilient, and shows tremendous grit. He self-advocates. He looks for allies and those around him. all the while being kind and respectful to both to adults and his peers.
During our instrumental music challenge, Amelia showcased a couple of her piano performances. This made a difference in other students' lives. She reinforced the idea of using instrumental music as a coping mechanism, as a source of inspiration, as a source of creative ideas during a lockdown.
I think that music helps everyone deal with emotions and make people feel better. I am also happy that over the years, music and schoolwork in general helps me build resilience, patience, and empathy.
She's very helpful to our community. She gets along with staff and students who have multiple intersectionalities, people who come from various backgrounds, people who have diverse needs.
What motivated me to do this is that I'm very passionate about playing the piano, and if I can teach someone to play the piano or an instrument, it would make me very happy.
So at our school, Aisha is a co-president of the Equity Club and the Debate Club. She's advised in the Student Council. She's part of HOSA, and she works with helping to teach the other students.
One of the accomplishments that I'm most proud of would be my most recent, which is Meeting of the Minds. And this was a joint collaboration between John C. Yesno Education Center that's in Ibamatoog First Nation Reserve. And here we were able to, with partnership with Milliken Mills High School and the school in Ibamatoog, we were able to collaborate on science and figure out what our different meanings and interpretations are, and really create this reciprocal, sustainable learning environment.
She created these amazing science kits, and she was able to connect with the mayor and bring these kits, quite a lot of them, all the way to our sister community, where these wonderful children were able to use it with their teachers.
I am open to creating something like clinics using my science background. I mean, this is a little further down the road, but create clinics where we are open to more pluralistic outlooks of medicine, because there isn't just one knowledge framework. And this would be using these collaborations with Indigenous physicians, Indigenous scientists, and create these clinics across Canada, which opens our doors to more pluralistic medicine routes other than the traditional medicine that we see here in Canada Western systems.
In school, EVS or hybrid, or at home, whenever someone has technical difficulties or needs my help with something, I always try my best to help them. For my community, I used to run a lemonade stand to raise money for the hospital and help with community events. Every September, our community would have an event called Plaza Palooza. It was free lemonade, but we recommended people to donate to it. One year, I know that we earned $700, and then we donated it to Markham Stouffville Hospital.
He problem solves, he offers to share his screen, he takes students into breakout rooms to help with the technology from their end. In terms of technology, he's been my savior. In the community as well, there are contributions from him and his family. Now for refugees from Ukraine, they're participating, and it's just that undying support that really touches me.
I've organized a lot of different awareness events, like Not So Blue Monday, which I did last year, which is a mental health initiative. I've done other things like heart health awareness, which we did this year, Kindness Week, where we wrote letters to each of the students. I'm also part of the mentorship program, so I help grade 9 students with their transition to high school.
Our grade 9, 10s, and 11s have all benefited from the role that she's played as a mentor, whether that's on their first day of school in grade 9, whether it was pre-COVID when we were allowed to go on our grade 9 trip to Camp Wanakita, whether it has been the workshops that we've done with our grade 9s, things like stress reduction, time management, study skills that Emily has led with those students.
I'm very active in the student council. I've helped with holiday activities, white ribbon campaigns, spirit days, and lots of other things in between. I would say that I'm most proud of my efforts in the pandemic. Like I wrote cards to seniors. I did a couple fundraisers for the food bank because I realized that was a really big issue at the time. I like to teach others things that I value, like robotics. I'm very passionate about robotics, and I coached the elementary school team. I went back after high school, and then currently I'm also working on the high school robotics team.
Thank you, Emily, for being such a fantastic role model and for your great contributions to our school.
What motivated me towards my accomplishments is the inclusive environment within the school community, because I always feel like I belong at school, and that feeling of belonging allowed me to get involved within school.
He models what it means to champion equity and inclusivity, and this is evident by always being eager to join various clubs and teams, such as ESP and the Equity and Inclusivity Club. Although soft-spoken, Mahishan builds positive collaborative relationships, which is evident through his interactions with both staff and students.
Despite his barriers and the barriers that COVID had created, Mahishan always demonstrated a willingness to join various clubs to help the school, such as the leadership team, ESP, and Equity and Inclusivity Club as well. Mahishan is very involved in a very involved student who participates in many clubs, such as the French Club, Math Club, ESP, Equity Inclusivity, Trumpet Ensemble, and bands. He's volunteered during parent-teacher night. He's made milk bag beds for those in need, and he designs posters for the student council.
Yeah, I would like to be seen as a leader. This is because my involvement within the school and community as a physically disabled student allows others to create possibilities. For example, another physically disabled student may not feel comfortable at first to join some clubs, but they wouldn't feel the same way after seeing me get involved.
So Allison has had many accomplishments during her time at GW Williams. She's been a leader of our peer mentor group, which takes on a significant role in the school and in the community as well, and has allowed her to be part of many charitable efforts and organizations throughout the community.
And so one initiative that has always really stuck with me is working with our alumni tradition, which is Change for Change, and really look forward to coordinating events like that support my interests for things like well-being and poverty.
The activity that I think has had the greatest impact would be the creation of a site for celebrating Black excellence and denouncing anti-Black racism. To create a site that offered a resource for students, for community members, for whoever wanted to access it within the Wired DSB, to be able to learn, to be able to see some of the history of it, but also as part of that process, worked with community leaders and school leaders to be able to refine that site so it properly reflected the Black experience. The way she felt about the issue, the way she felt about the topic, made it so that she wanted to see this happen, but she also wanted to see it happen appropriately.
And so some of my additional involvements in supporting and working with organizations like Yellow Brick House or Plymouth Night of the Year were also really important to me to support those experiencing homelessness in our community, as well as women and families specifically.
I think that in all that she does, she's looking to lift up those that are underserved and undersupported and be able to support in whatever way she can.